and welcome back to Dreams, Passion and Your Hong Kong Story, where every time we bring before you inspirational stories of amazing people from this magnificent land, Hong Kong. Today we have with us a very dynamic woman entrepreneur, someone who came to Hong Kong in 2008, was an investment banker before, but noticed an immense opportunity in the Hong Kong market and decided to pivot to become an entrepreneur. Let's welcome Ariane Zaguri, founder of 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 on our show. Hello, Ariane, and welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So Ariane was born and raised in France. She grew up in the family of textile retailers and had an astute eye for fashion and textiles from very early on in life. She started her early career as an investment banker, but then soon after moving to Hong Kong with her husband and family, she decided to become an entrepreneur. She realized that there was an immense gap in the Hong Kong market for a need for a fashionable, wearable, and affordable local women brand. And that started her on the journey of founding 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒. So 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 has two different groups of the business. One is the 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 Fashion Group, which brings to the Hong Kong market the premium and contemporary European brands to Asia. So brands like Whistles, Phase 8, American Vintage, Sweaty Betty have been brought to Hong Kong market by 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒, and they operate with the franchise agreement. And then 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 has its own multi-label concept store all across Hong Kong, Singapore, and Macau. Today, the group in total operates more than 40 stores. Let's talk to Ariane and find out how Hong Kong journey has been. So Ariane, tell us, how was it to grow up in France, and what and when did you get excited about fabrics and textiles in your life?
I can't answer this question. It's always been part of my life. I grew up in a family of shopkeepers in textiles. So my grandfather and then my father owned some beautiful shops in Paris selling fabrics. And when I was young and I didn't go to school, I would sit down near my father and do the buying with him. And so it's always been there. And I don't know the words actually, but when I touch something, I really know if it's good or not. It's part of me.
So the fashion and the fabric excited you from so early on in life? Did you ever think of building a career out of that, or at that point it did not strike you?
Well, until my 20 years old, I didn't think about career at all. And then after that, when I started working, I actually started in banking because I went from someone who was not interested by study to someone who was quite aggressive in my career. And banking was very exciting, and also it felt like a very male-driven industry. And I think I had a lot of things to prove, and banking allowed me to try. And I did banking for years before I moved to Hong Kong and started my second life.
Yeah. So what excited you to become an investment banker? Because you're just saying you were not really a very studious student, and then you decided to take up banking. And so what excited you to get into finance world? And then how did the transition happen from finance industry to entrepreneurship?
Well, I saw smart people, especially men, doing banking. And I just wanted to prove that to myself, more than anything else, that I was able to do it. So I just decided to do banking because it seemed like it was the right thing to do for people who were smart. And it was actually probably the best business school for me, because when I didn't study, I actually been able to really learn how to work and so on, doing banking in American bank. I worked in London, in Credit Suisse, and then Goldman Sachs. So I really had to catch up and understand what I was doing.
One of the hottest jobs, and the toughest, I would say.
Yeah, but actually, I think once you get in, I was not bad because I was very different from anyone else. And my whole career, I built it on making jokes to people, and it worked because nobody makes jokes, so everybody remember me. But I must say that the product and the finance world, I was really not interested. So I wasn't happy. I knew I would have to do something else because market could go up and down for me. I mean, I couldn't care less. Whereas I care about what I'm doing now. Yeah.
So you moved from investment banking to textiles as an entrepreneur. But then, do you think your being in investment banking and the experience you got there, has that been relevant to your present job?
Yes. So there are two things that have been, I think, crucial. The first thing is when I started my business here, I knew that I knew nothing. And I started back from the very beginning. And when I opened my first shop, actually I couldn't find staff. So I spent probably 6 months doing opening to closing every day of my first store. I couldn't even go to the loo. And I was the buyer, the seller, the shopkeeper, the cleaner. I was everything, the accountant, the HR, everything for myself. And that's how I really understood retail and Hong Kong. Have I not done that, I would not get it. So for me, that was the key. And then the fact of I've been having the banking background, I understand that numbers matter. And I know how to read and like P&L and so on. So that helps.
That factor helped. So tell us, you moved to Hong Kong in 2008. And how did you conceive the idea of 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒? And, what motivated you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I think I've been an opportunist, to be honest, more than an entrepreneur. I moved to Hong Kong, so I was pregnant with my first child. I now have 4 children. And I left my job in banking, and I really wanted to go back to work, but I didn't want to go back to banking. But at that time, there was really nothing between high street brands and luxury, whereas in Europe, there were brands that were booming. So honestly, I don't think the idea was very special. I think a lot of French girls had the idea, but you need to do it.
Right.
That's what made me special. And you need to do it and to sustain, which in Hong Kong can be difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how it happened. I just know that the way I did it is I looked at how much it would cost me and how much I could lose. And we had a family discussion, and basically we decided, okay, it's a lot of money, but our kids will still go to university. And we knew, okay, if it doesn't work and we reach that money and we lose that money, we'll close down the business. And I got lucky because it immediately worked. But I think it's very important to be able to, to jump
the lead,
to take the lead and jump and go, because nobody can tell you if it's going to work. Nobody can tell you. The only thing you know when you create a business is how much it costs you.
Right.
Everything else, you don't know.
So, Ariane, you have 2 amazing business models that you operate side by side. One is your 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 fashion group, wherein you bring all these amazing designer labels from Europe to Asia. And then you have 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 group, where you operate the multi-label brand. Must have been difficult to operate 2 such models side by side in a competitive market like Hong Kong. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you faced when you started this business model?
So they work hands on hands. 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚𝑒 is very often a laboratory for us to try a brand. And then if the brand is really good, we would take it to another level. So I actually work hands on hand. Now, I think there are 2 things. There are how we work with other people. I love working with other people, and I believe that you need to prepare that and to make it formal. And if it's very simple and clear how you're going to work together, like a marriage actually, and how you're going to stop working together eventually, like a divorce, it can be very, very efficient. So I've learned to really work and prepare that part really well, because after it makes things much easier. And I think from an economic point of view, retail is a very cyclical business. So we've always been known quite a lot of up and down in the industry and COVID now, and you need to be able to deal with all these situations. So when you are at the top of the market, your issues are that the rents are way too high, that it's very difficult to hire. And then when you are at the bottom of the market, it's actually to get the business and to be able to sustain while the business is difficult. So of course, these are huge challenges, but I think we succeed because we have a great team, and we make decisions and we discuss as a team. And by taking everyone in the journey and doing it together, it works quite well.
In the pandemic time, has your online business shot up?
It has, but our blood and our DNA and our expertise, it's really retail. And looking back and who we are now, I think we do this business with passion for women. I mean, what makes us happy is a happy woman leaving our store. She buys, she doesn't buy, no matter the brand, we don't really mind. What we want is to please the client. And that's done through good retail operations. Online is different, but definitely we're getting much better. And people love our curation because we're very specific. And also on Tmall now, we have exposure to China. So it's at least it's very interesting.
So are you scaling a lot outside Hong Kong?
We have been in Singapore for years and we are developing, but I would say at the same, Hong Kong is still much bigger for us. We're also in Macau. And we're working on China.
So has being based in Hong Kong been an advantage for your business when you decided to scale the business?
I think in a number of ways, it's been very easy in a number of ways to operate. And it's simple. Everything is simple. And it's really simple because some of the markets, they tell you it's simple, but then when you go into details, it's not that simple, and especially if you're not a local. Whereas in Hong Kong, things are simple and very fair to everyone.
Yeah. And so you founded the store in Hong Kong, and now you're scaling it to Singapore, Macau, and also to China. So has being based in Hong Kong been an advantage when you decided to scale in other countries?
Yes, probably.
In what way?
I mean, in COVID time, not really. In non-COVID time, again, the efficiency, the efficiency mindset is a clear advantage.
Yes. Tell us about a memorable experience you've had during your entrepreneurial journey.
As a woman, all my life is very connected also to my family life, and I work a lot. I work probably two full-time jobs. But I still can take care of my children. And maybe that's also one of the good things about Hong Kong. I can go home, see my children and work at night. But so to come back to my experience, I actually gave birth to my second baby. And the day after, my future partners who were the group SMCP called me to tell me, we're going to open stores with you, which was very big for me. I was like, yeah, fantastic. I was really fighting for it. I just gave birth to my babies. Okay. They told me, take your time, don't worry. But 1 week later, they had people in town. And I walked actually to IFC Mall and I did my landlord meeting to sign the first stores and so on. So, I mean, I don't know why, but this memory is very strong and very funny. Nearly the same thing happened with Sweetie Betty. Actually, the founder came to see me 1 week before I gave birth to my latest twin babies. He didn't even know I was pregnant. And I arrived to the meeting, I was pregnant with 2 babies. And he said, okay, we're going to work with you. So I don't know why, but there was something with my babies.
Yeah. Your babies have been very lucky for your business.
Exactly.
Amazing. That's great to know. So Ariane, looking back now, you've been in this business for nearly 11 years. You know, you have nearly 40 stores all across Hong Kong and Macau and Singapore. Looking back, do you think there is anything you would have liked to do differently?
Oh yeah. I'm not a person and the company culture is very much like this. We don't see what is good, we only see what is not good. So of course there are many things I would have done differently. And the first thing is, of course I would have opened in China quicker. I think that's probably the main thing for me. Yeah.
That you would like to open up in China?
That I would have opened. I mean, there've been a lot of issues that every time we were supposed to open, something happened. The latest one was COVID. But I would have opened in China earlier on. Yeah, sooner.
Okay. So what would your advice be now to a 22-year-old looking to have a career like you? Take yourself, you know, when you were around 2022, and if at that point of time you would like to build a career like this, what would be your advice be to a young 22-year-old Ariane?
Be ready to work, but you will be ready to work if you have the passion. If you don't have the passion, you don't want. So find something that you are passionate about and throw yourself in. Don't be scared to fail. You will fail no matter what. You will fail. You will make mistakes, but it's okay. Who cares? It doesn't matter. What matters is to try and to live your dreams.
So are you ready for a rapid fire question round?
Of course.
That's getting to know Ariane's Hong Kong story in a bit more fun way. Okay, what's your favorite formal and casual dining place in Hong Kong?
Okay. It's difficult to choose, right? I like very much, so for formal, I guess I like La Petite Maison very much. It's really, really good. But I must say also that—
What kind of food?
French. Okay, so I'm going into French food. So actually, I love La Petite Maison, but also I really love the St-Regis restaurant, the French restaurant at the St-Regis. They just got their second star, and they really, really, I mean, it's totally justified. It's really amazing. So these are definitely formal. Casual. Okay, actually, why not Indian food?
You love Indian food?
I like some, I don't know if you like them, but I like some Indian restaurants. So I love Rajasthan Rifles on the Peak. I love going there with my children.
Rajasthan Rifles.
Rajasthan Rifles. I love Sanrio for sushi and Pichi for pasta.
Okay. Your favorite product from your store?
A good white shirt, because that's the most versatile product that you can have. And a good, like khaki or beige jacket or raincoat. Again, it's super versatile. You can wear it every time.
The best part you like about your job?
Okay, the one I'm the most proud about is the fact that I actually hire a decent number, quite a big number of women. And that's very important to me. And that's my biggest responsibility, to ensure that we can move on together.
Amongst all the stores that you have opened in Hong Kong, which one of them is closest to your heart and why?
But the first one.
Which is the first?
So it's 𝑅𝑢𝑒 𝑀𝑎𝑑𝑎𝑚e in Lee Garden.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always going to be very special for me.
And why is that? Because it was the first one? It was your baby? Okay. What is something that you would like to change about your job? Or you don't like as much?
The current economic environment.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Yes. Last time you did something for the first time in Hong Kong?
That's a very, very tough question. I guess it was a few months, I can't remember when it was. I went to 𝐷 with a friend and we ate some snake soup and we hold the snake.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was really cool.
Really? How was it? How was it to taste?
It's actually okay. I mean, if you don't know it's snake, it's actually very fine. There is a restaurant there that specializes
In 𝐷
into snake soup.
I would love to try that.
Yeah.
Okay. Your favorite spot in Hong Kong?
Probably the top of Violet Hill, which is also a satisfaction because you just climbed Violet Hill and then you have this amazing view in front of you.
Okay. On a romantic date, where do you like to go with your husband in Hong Kong?
If I choose, we would do a boxing class together.
Whoa.
And then go for burgers.
Okay.
If he choose, we would probably only do the burger part.
What's your favorite hobby? Things that you like to, what's the favorite thing you'd like to do other than your work?
My kids. I mean, I'm a mother. I'm a very grateful mother of 4. And I mean, that's my life outside work. And, to exercise and to live things together, anything. I love traveling. I mean, we've done some amazing traveling as a family. I miss it so much. But experiencing new things and discovering with my kids, no matter what it is, I'm very open.
Okay. And 3 words that describes your Hong Kong life.
Okay. Efficient, nature, and international.
Okay. What are you most proud of as a Hong Konger?
There are 2 things. The fact that there is no difference depending where you come from. And that's a very important concept in Hong Kong. So you can be from anywhere. And I mean, they cannot differentiate you, which is very important. And also because I'm Jewish, and it's one of the places in the world where it feels safe for Jewish community.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. What would you tell the global business leaders? Why should they engage with Hong Kong?
Because it's one of the very few real international places in the world. I guess as a business leader, so there is the freedom that you can have is quite amazing. I think also working with Hong Kongers has been a very satisfying experience for me. There are people that have been in the business since we created the business, And the work ethics is very high, as well as the dedication of your team. It's a real give and back, which I find very important, and it's fair. I think in Hong Kong, there is amongst people a very strong sense of fairness, which is very key in business. And it's very key, and you can feel it in every part of the society and the business, which is very important.
Nice. And so how would you invite your friends and family? Why should they consider visiting, living, or working in Hong Kong?
I think the one thing that people really always underestimate about Hong Kong is how beautiful the nature is. And I haven't seen actually enough yet. It's just stunning, and you can go to so many different places in such a small place. So for me, you should come for hike, you should come for the beach, should come for the food and the retail, but really the nature for me, is totally out of breath, and you don't need to go to 10 different places in Asia. In Hong Kong, you can have a lot of different experiences in one place.
Well, thank you so much, Ariane, for coming to our show, and we wish you all the very best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Jaya. Merci beaucoup.
Stay tuned for our next episode on Dreams, Passion, and Your Hong Kong Story, where we shall bring you yet another fascinating story from this wonderful land, Hong Kong.